All right, YouTube is on it and ready to go. Ready to go. Now we're money. Now we're money. All right, let me post this for everyone and we'll get the day started and kicked off, ready to go. We've got less than 2 minutes till the market is open. And yeah, hope everybody learned a little something yesterday. The levels are turning out to be even better than I anticipated. They were in test phase, being up here at all-time highs. I know everyone's asking me, how do I form these levels? How do I form these levels? And I will gladly be going over this when I have a little more time, and I'll be kind of talking more a little bit about that today and then into the weekend as I post some more content this weekend. So be on the lookout for that. All right, everything's up and running, ready to go. It's time to start digging into the watch list. October 29th, I'm going to be sticking with the 2-day DTEs. I definitely want to take advantage, and as more confident I am in getting with these RNS levels, I'm kind of dialing back a little bit on the DTEs just to take advantage of a little bit more volatility and rake in some profits. And it seems to be working out pretty dang well. And we're going to continue that thinking today and, of course, into Friday as I think the volatility is going to start upticking. And then if I need to pull back the DTEs to like November 1st, I will. But until then, I'm going to be looking at that. Probably going with the 458s and 454s. And there is the market open right out of the gate, mixed bag on the X's. And we're currently sitting right at S1, bouncing up and down. Big green on tech, big red on XLF, which I anticipated with this big uptick in the bonds after we gapped up here from 145 all the way up to 146.60. It's $1.50 plus on the bonds. The rates now have dropped all the way down to 1.56. That's that rotation into the bond sector as XLF is eating some crow after that big rotation. XLV popped up but have a red candle. XLK is pretty much flat. Little green candle there. It's getting wicked out to the bottom. And I just want to take a walk around the X's. XLU is green. XLRE is the same. XLB materials. Big smoke show there. Energy is down. I anticipated that with the energy crisis we have going around. That's one of the headlines today was the energy crisis. As we start moving away from earnings season, you're going to start to see all the other uh, headlines last week being recycled and put back into focus as we start rotating away from that into other items. XLC, red candles. XLI, big red. XLF, big red. XLV, flat. And XLK is flat at the moment. Here's a little red candle through S1 on SPY. What's up, YouTube? How you doing? Matthew, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Let me mute this baby. All right. Good afternoon or good morning or good night. Wasn't that movie The Truman Show? Isn't that what it is? In case I don't see you. November 1st is my birthday. Mega taking some profits. Hopefully so. Hopefully so. Morning, morning. All right, I'm going to get into the SPX contracts here. Good little volume there. I think I'm going to do that. Bam. And what we got down here? All right, SPX watch list is posted. Big post. All right, all right. So, watch this red came right off of S1, now down trending towards S2. Big green on the Qs there. Got wicked out a little bit, but still increasing. Let's look at the top 8. Tesla's still doing its thing, 1042 after dropping down to 1009 in pre-market. Nvidia trading flat, a little bit of red green there. Google popping up. Facebook selling off. Amazon slightly increasing. Microsoft the same, and Apple is a little bit down after popping up there. So not a lot of crazy stuff there. Take a look in the OM plays, and I posted my watch list there. And coming on down to 445.82, a couple of wicks. Nice little red candles here. Let's look for a little bounce here with the strength in tech. XLF is bringing down SPY at the moment. XLV kind of rounded over here. Little red there in XLY. XLI is down as well. So the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 had some red candles, and tech is the only one raging, which now has a red candle. So let's see if we get a little downside. There's the red candle on the Qs, and SPY is still falling, and there is the watermark. Bam. Look at that. Big red candles here. Love to see it. Bring it all the way down to pre-market 445.51. No play yet. No play yet. What's up, Toasty Spy? Yeah, I'm on the 3-minute, and I'll be switching back and forth to the 5. Right now, not enough time frame built in just yet for the 5. I'll wait for a few minutes here, and I'll start flipping back and forth 3 in the 5-minute. That's right, Nomad Trader, Prince. Let's go, the puts. So yeah, a little bit of bounce here. Red candle all the way down to S2. Let's see if we get that bounce, and or if we fall on through to S3, because right now it's looking a little heavy. There's a little red candle on the Qs as that is bringing down the market. I'll be focusing on calls in the morning. If I do fail this S2, then I'll immediately flip to puts and we'll ride these baby down. But I'm going to be ready for a bounce off S2. If we don't get that, then I'll start bringing in some puts. And it looks like we may actually blow right on past S2. But all eyes on tech in the volatility this morning. VIX is now spiking up to 1607 and increasing, and it topped out up here at 1631 in pre-market SPY, wicking out a little bit here at S2. QQQ have these little wicks on the top and the bottom. Bond still increasing. XLF is wicking up here. We might have a little bounce here. We'll see. We'll see. Tech right now, big red candle. And I'm going to be waiting for a decision. I'm going to let the market make its decision. If it's going to go down, I'll ride puts down to S3. If it's going to go up, we'll ride calls up to R1. And that's where I'm thinking about today. Trying to hang my head on neutral until the market breaks one way or the other. Right now, we're just coming down and forming pre-market lows. And there's that big flush below. And there's the Qs. There's the VIX. 29th, Mike. 29th. Nice, SE. 11% on some puts. Let's go. 20% puts. Nice. All right, little resistors there. TLT is popping up. NASDAQ. Futures big sell coming on down. They have this support here on the futures, 450 or 45.58, which is there. A little bit of wick there, right on S2. I'd like to see a breakup over S2 if we're going to take calls, and I'll ride calls back up, or if we're going to fail, I'll ride puts here. But I'm waiting for the break, and I'm going to get my VWAP on, and I'm going to get my session ranges on right now. Right now we got a range of 456.74 to 455.52, and I'm just waiting. So I posted in the room this morning, as y'all see, that it's been brought to my attention a lot that a lot of people, basically of play calling. And yes, I want you all to share your wins. I want you all to share the big wins and the losses and whatnot. However, what I want to avoid is people that may or may not be actually making a trade posting big 60, 70, 80% wins out of nowhere, and it's going to cause FOMO into the room. And that's my intention, because this is a communal setting. And people, it does affect with people emotions. If they're sitting there thinking and then people are slinging plays 80%, it's like, well, I want to avoid the showboating and I want to get more towards education. So that's my intention with that whole statement. And there is a big red candle flushed at the bottom. Qs are now falling. XLF is falling. Interesting action. Interesting action. Green candle on XLF. XLK, nice coming on down there. Tesla's holding strong. Nvidia sideways. Google. Facebook, big green candle. Amazon, green. Microsoft, red. Apple's flushing to the bottom. Look at that. Look at that. So coming off of 456.56 down to 455.48. A little $1 move here to start the day off. Fun stuff. But wicks on the tech. Wicks on the tech. Coming on down. Coming on down. XLF big green. Maybe a little wick there on XLV. XLK has a wick right there, letting this thing shake out for the time being. The bonds right now are still climbing here, XLV. Now, this is like the determination here. This is the decision we have to make. Is this a day that we're going to start finally flush to the bottom, or are we going to bounce up here and ride back up to pre-market levels? And that's the decision we need to make. So I'm letting this thing tell me what it's going to do. I'm not going to get caught with this little flush and take a put and they get smoked up here. I'm going to let this thing break and I'll take a position. Look at the wick on the tech. Tech just broke green, and let's see if that can actually go up. I'm going to bring my call order form up and ready to go. Stand by a second. Get these things set up. Ooh, see tech right there. Flipping up and down, red, green. It wants to go, but a lot of wicks. There's not a lot of conviction right now in tech. It's just way up and down. Pretty sure I already said shake and bake. XLF trying to climb back up. XLV still flushing down. XLK is just barely hanging on here. Barely hanging on. NASDAQ right now is still trending up with yesterday's kind of little pivot right there. It's not quite highs, but a little bit off the highs. SPY is trying to come back up through S2. Q's barely climbing up there. Barely climbing up. Where's the link to my trading view? I'll post it here in a second. I have it in my resources, but I'll post it again once we figure out a play here. Q's still wicking. Not a lot of strength here on the Q's. XLF is starting to climb back up ever so gently. Ever so gently. The bonds now have a little red. That's that transfer over there from XLF to QQQ. Nice little green candles here. Starting to climb a little bit up here. And look at that wick. Look at that wick. A lot of wicks here, man. A lot of wicks. The Qs are up here, and now this is the point where I'm really starting to look at taking a call. Are we going to come back up here, or is this thing going to flush to this, smoke it to the downside? And I'm really looking here. I've got my calls up, ready to go. I've got my order form filled out. All I got to do is hit send, and I'm in this position. SPY is coming up through S2. I want to make sure it doesn't get smoked. Playing a little conservative until I really get the feel of what's going on here. Even if it means giving back a little bit, or at least missing out on some projected profits, that's fine with me. I'm a high probability trader. I take the high probability play. $25%. Nicely done. Nicely done. Do you think watching Anna Colling's video about VPA is just as good as reading her book? I think you need to do both. Mark, I saved my resistance and support levels my for my subscribers. So if you want to come over and take a look, I've got those posted in the Discord. A lot of hate spewed on Reddit today about my levels. They were too accurate, and people said they were fishy. They said I was tweaking the numbers to make me look better than I already am. Little did they know, I post these things pre-market for everybody before the market actually starts. Gotta love Reddit. Gotta love Reddit. All right, green candle coming up to S1. Oh, big old blow at the top here. Stand by. Blasting out the top there. XLF. What's XLF doing? Still got this little red candle there. Q's there, SPY's there, right there. Green so far on puts. A little bit of top wick right at S1. Checking up on S1. Almost a V recovery. See, look, this big green candle smoked out. I was about to get in that position. Look, smoked out on the Qs. XLF starting to go green. XLY is green. XLV is down. But remember yesterday, XLV made an XLV recovery. I'm in calls. Sorry, I'm in calls. Oh man, I had some water go down the wrong pipe. That was terrible. All right, watching this closely. XLF is big red right here. I'm going to be looking at this position closely. XQ is starting to climb back up pretty aggressively. XLF is red. That is what concerns me. XLV is coming on down again. SPY is climbing and coming back up. But I want to be very conservative with this play because you have XLF is red. Now flipping green. Okay. And SPY is still climbing here. But look, no more smoked out. A lot of red flipping back and forth. I don't like that. There's 750. There's 760. There's a big green. Oh, there we go. Nice. Nice. Okay. 770. There's 780. All right. All right. All right. All right. I'm taking some off there at 770. I don't like some of that action here. There's a lot of top wicks here, and there's a little too much weight here in XLF and XLV. If we can finally get some upside with those, we might actually pop up above. But we'll see what happens there. Watching this closely. Watching this closely. Don't be lazy. Flip around the market here. Little green in XLV. This might bring up some upside there. Big red on XLK. Look at that. XLK just smoked down. Q is about to probably turn red there. XL there. Big green pop up there. XLF. Oh, didn't want to do that. I got 770 there. $8. Still climbing. Oh man, look at that big pop up. Holy moly. I'd love to see it. Heck yeah, man. 840. All right, closing it there. Some of 850. 870. Man, I can't even get the bid in there. It's climbing too high. All right, I'm putting in 850. Dang it, didn't get that 850. There's 820. All right, let me post this real quick. All right. You're very welcome, AB Plum. So I'm watching everything else here. Q's just flipped red. XLF is climbing up still. XLV is about to flip red. XLK is red there. And SPY is still green, but man, big wick. And that's what I'm trying to avoid there. That's what I'm trying to avoid there. Let's see if Q's can still flip green and climb. Still holding the half of this position here. And popping up through the POC, fit at 556, now 556.80. Look, we checked up on S1. Now we're above the POC here on the 3-minute chart, going to the 5-minute. The volume is diminishing on the 5-minute. We have this big wick right there. 3-minute is not got a red candle and a little bit of green there on the Qs, and SPY is still 456.75 or 6 and 7 and popping up here. Calls, calls. I'm in calls. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way I would have made a dollar gain on a on a put right there. All right, big pop up in Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook's coming down. All bullishness except for Facebook. I hope Facebook goes to zero. Right now it's 456.80 on the green. QQQ is double green climbing up. Close at 37%. Nice, Mike. Awesome stuff. 456.80. I got 810 on these plays. I might consider closing these if I don't see a big pop up here. I want to play conservative and get this week. We'll get this day started off with a pretty decent win. You're welcome, Epidemic. Nicely done. Right now is Q's big pop up. All right, so we have a big gain here on Q's. XLF has a little red after climbing up. XLV is kind of formed a bottom. If those can get on their horse, look a little bit hammer candle on XLV. If those can get on their horse and get the lead out, we can climb up there. So, $8. I got $8 on the bid right now. All right, coming back to YouTube. Sorry about that. Yeah, made $6. Nice. Yep, a lot of wicks is indecision. That means there was a big fight back and forth. Big fight back and forth. All right, there's a red candle. QQQ up some top wicks. You know what? Let's see if I can get 810 out of these things. I think I'm going to go ahead and shut this baby down. There's a red candle. Top wicks galore. Yep, I'm closing. Let's see what we can get out of this thing. 770. All right, I'm out. Close the rest of them at 770. I can always re-enter that play. That's what I tell myself. I can always enter another play. I don't like the top wicks on the Qs. It's already extended. Look, double big top wick. XLF had a little red. XLV flushed down to the downside again. XLV cannot hold a bid. XLY, big red candle. XLK has some top wicks. If Tech decides it wants to flush, it's going to bring SPY with it. All I want to do is re-enter a play here, so I can always re-enter. I'm going to take my profits off the table. That's a pretty big win for me. I'll take it all day long. The biggest section of that, I think I got, 15% out of that first one, somewhere around there. I got to go back and check the actual profit loss statement, but I'll take it all day long, baby. Take it all day long, starting off with a little 15%er. I closed all my calls. Close at 840. Nice, Toasty Spy. Well done. What made me take the position? Right here. This right here made me take the position. I wasn't in anything until about here. I started to see some green action, and then Q started to do this little number. I'm taking that all day long. So, coming down to S1. You're very welcome, Mark. You're very welcome. 400 people watching. Welcome, welcome. If you are new to the channel or if you are old, please let me know. And hit that like button for me. It does something fancy with the little gerbil behind the screen running on the wheel. All right, nice little red candles, and that is exactly why I wanted to close those calls, baby, because the top wick city on the tech, and there's a little flush red candle on the Qs. Tech sector's bringing that down just slightly. Tech yesterday is what led that huge sell-off, along with XLF, and with the bonds being up this high, there's a big chance that we could get some downside. And with XLF coming down, with Qs coming down, it's going to bring a lot of weight into the market. And we could see a flush. First time join. Nice, Dan. I'm on 3-minute time frame, and I always switch back and forth between the 3 and the 5 right here, right at S1. I hope that answers your question about why. If you want me to tidy something up, let me know. I'll be happy to describe it as much as I can. And I'll be lobster eyeing the screen, make sure we don't get a break in the action here. I want to make sure I still maintain the trade, maintain situational awareness. What's the advantage of SPX over SPY? Taxes. Mojo says I was listening to the stream while checking email and missed that entry. there's sometimes when I'm on my stream later, when things are moving that quickly, it's hard for me to actually call it out and actually go in and post that thing live. So, and that's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes things move when I'm gone in a position like that, and I'll try to post it as fast as I can. But that's why I'm trying to vocalize it as best as I can here on the voice channel. I blew up my account 2 weeks ago. Pray for me. Well, you're in the right place, Curtis. Why is the Tesla madness more impactful to SPY? I mean, it is impactful, but I think the overarching thing is all of tech, not necessarily just Tesla. But yeah, look what's been happening the past 2 weeks. I mean, Tesla's got up to 458. Look at this. And then once Tesla started to do this downside, look at SPY, right about the same time. All of tech kind of followed suit. So Tesla does have an effect on SPY. But all of corporate earnings right now, 85% of companies reported better than expected earnings yesterday. So yeah, I need a lobster eye T-shirt. I love it. I love it. Do I ever close the order on market? New. I always close on limit. Always close on limit. There's limit orders are a double-edged sword. You're very accurate with your limit orders. However, if you are greedy or if you don't have the wherewithal to adjust your limits, you're not going to get out of a position where you want to. In fact, you're going to miss entries, you're going to miss exits. So you have to know, like right there, I got out at what I get at 760, 770. So 770 is where I closed that position. I was trying to get out at 8, but I saw that red candle came well below 8. And so I immediately double clicked, got down to 760, sold that crap. I want out. I don't want this to flush down to $7. So I got out. And you have to be able, you got to tell yourself, would I rather take the 3, 4, 5% gain on that, or would I rather take the 2% loss? So I'd rather just go ahead and get out of that position. I already had the 860 or whatever, 820 in there. So yeah, just got in puts. Interesting. So a little hammer there on tech. We may bring this thing up again. XLF has got a big green bounce off of that bottom level. XLV, if that gains a green along with tech, we're going to pop up to R1, and I might throw into that. We'll see if we have a rejection off of R1. I did, Jeremy. I did. I was expecting a pullback from SPY after the new all-time highs. When do you think the dip will be? I think it'll begin either today or later on this week, somewhere in this 3-day range. So yeah. Yeah, I've got the YouTube stream posted right there. So if you want to come join over, come on over, click that link. You'll be good. All right, so let's watch this thing consolidate. We're right above S1. We've got these wick right above S1 now, and we are just consolidating just slightly. A lot of wicks here on Qs and red candle. Tesla is kind of still uptrending. Nvidia is still down. Google popping up. Facebook is coming on down. Amazon climbing up. Microsoft is popping up. Apple is got this little V recovery here, but what's some top wicks? Qs now have a red candle. XLF is still green. And we're just consolidating. No plays right now. Nothing in, not taking anything just yet. Once again, I'll play the breakups and I'll play the breakdowns, whichever comes first. Current supply chain issues. It'll be an interesting consumer season, Brian, to say the least. So I'm very curious to see how this holiday season is going to go. Usually it's a strong phase for the economy. Usually there's uptick in suppliers, there's uptick in consumer goods, um, companies like Amazon, whatnot. But with the consumer, with these supply chain issues, it'll be interesting to say the least. Not to mention the energy. Coal. I think I read that this is the lowest our supply of coal, our reserves of coal has been ever, or at least in the past number of years here in the United States. So that'll be interesting to watch. So it'll be interesting to say the least. Chinese made products. That'll be interesting to see how they'll be able to flow in and out of the United States. Got my first win using OM strats. Nice, Michael. Well done. Oh yeah, definitely. We still use coal in the United States. Supply chain issues are definitely not artificial. They're definitely not artificial. They may be artificially created. I mean, that's a conversation in terms of why they started. However, that's a different conversation altogether. I won't argue that, but they're definitely a problem right now. SPY is popping up through POC 456.87. Still no conviction on a play just yet. And we are coming on up. Latest comments on the latest Chinese property group to default. Well, that's a big conversation because uh, I'm watching this green candle right now. The Chinese, all these real estate developers in the China market are starting to default one after another, and it's just every week it seems like there's another one added to the list, and then they came out and told that uh, the Evergrande dude, hey, you need to pay this out of your personal finances. This is getting to the problem. Then they told all of the developers, prepare yourself to start dealing with these debts. Just prepare yourself. It's like something's gonna change. So it'll be interesting to see how that starts to have a ripple effect with this foreign debt with all the real estate developers throughout the country. So it will have an effect. I mean, it's the second largest housing community in the world. So housing market in the world. So it'll definitely have an effect, and I'm curious to see to what extent and when that'll happen. All right, red candle popping up there, red down. Big red on the cues. Look at this. This does not look healthy to me. Um, that's why I'm kind of avoiding a play right now. I don't necessarily trust this move. XLF is popping up with a little bit of red action here in the bonds, and the rates are popping up here as well. Definitely welcome. Definitely welcome. In 20 plus years of England, never seen supply delays this bad. Yeah. Yep. I'm trying to get whatever Christmas presents for the kids I can earlier because I do anticipate some delays this season. Santa may be coming in January or November. We'll see. So this is the first time in over a month I've been no, well, I just blended messages. First time I actually played both a call and a put in the first 30 minutes. Finally started to do better. Nicely done. Nicely done. That's called a well-rounded trader right there. Do both. Puts and calls. Puts and calls. Mason says, started following you a month ago. Still not working on holding too long and going from green to red, but this is nice. Nicely done. 125% month to month change and 8.5% on the day. Awesome stuff, Mason. Beautiful. Nice, Wolfenstein. 15% on some calls. Beautiful. $422 people watching. Hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button. I release educational content. I try to do at least once a week, every 2 weeks. And then you get notifications for my live streams. We live stream here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's all. Yeah, that's where it's all about. Unfortunately, the Christmas holiday has become about consumerism. But yeah, having it's all about family. It's all about family. All right, there's some red on the cues. SPY is kind of wicking up here, just under R1, right above S1. What's up, Lumpy Cat? Okay, Vin Diesel. It's all about family. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. Got it at 7.4, so too early at 7.6. Nope, I never took my puts on Tesla. I couldn't do it. I learned my lesson back in December when I tried to short Tesla, so I just can't do it. I've got the 1,000-yard stare when it comes to Tesla. Look at this red candle. Love it. I love it. So VIX has came all the way back down to 1559. I would hardly call myself a YouTube star, but I'm a pilot for the Air Force. Still am, actually. Still am. I just fly nights. The green line on my chart is VWAP. This one here is VWAP. This up here is my custom resistance levels, R1, that I form. I form all of these, so I'll scratch this in here. These are the levels that I form in pre-market, R3 to R1, S1 to S5, and I post those in pre-market for the community. Big red here on SPY, XLF, big green candles there, but everything else is XLK finally launched through the floor, and this is what I'm talking about. See these top wicks? That means no buyer's conviction. The seller just keeps smacking that thing down, and down we go. XLK falling finally. XLV has been nice and steadily declining. The only strength here we got is XLF. We has a little sell-off here on the bonds because the rates are off. Now the rates are coming back up. Let's see what happens. Nice. Look at that big red candle. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to go on mute here for about a minute. All right, I'm back. $403 in half an hour. Nice, Driven. Awesome stuff, man. He's been killing it too. Him, Lee Rat has been killing it. A couple other people. Gordon, I think, has been killing it. Where's he at today? XLF is still climbing here. XLV, man, just dropping through the floor. XLK is also doing the same. So SPY came off of S1, still holding S1 beautifully, right off of VWAP as well. Yeah, but that's a big F, Wheeze. That's a big F. You're very welcome, Nomad Trader. Thanks for being here. Coming on down right through VWAP. QQQ still falling. XLF, if it rounds over, it's going to be game over. Look at all this action. Look at all this action. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice, healthy red candles. Alrighty. Shaking and bacon. Shaking and bacon. Nice little wick there. So if we break down from here any further, I'll be jumping into some puts to ride the action down. Oh, oh, look at that down. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, little B. Breaking on down to S2. Do I formulate my R's and S's for other indexes like Q's? Not yet, but I plan on it. I plan on it. Update my watch list for those watching. What do you do to pump yourself up before open? Listen to good music. Plus, I'm always jacked up for my pre-workout. I work out in the mornings. So like this morning, I went to the gym, came home, got the kids ready for school, uh, did my pre-market analysis, started, and I did my pre-market chat with the Patreoners. Played some good music, try to scare some people with my good enthusiasm when I come on the stream. I did read the good book always every morning, and then we come on here and make some money. All right, bouncing right up. Look at that big wick right up to S1. QQQ right now is bouncing off their POC to the bottom of the range. Man, beautiful. And the VIX coming up. XLF still on its march, just churning through the levels. And XLK there. What's the top 8 doing? Tesla, Nvidia, Google, Facebook. Look at that. Oh man, I love to see it. Hi, Mark Zuckerberg. Amazon right now, red. Microsoft still climbing. Apple is shaking and baking. Look at that, up and down. What do these big wicks mean? Buyers and sellers, baby. Buyers and sellers. Bottom wicks are buyers, top wicks are sellers. Solid green hammer. It is a solid green hammer. On some pretty decent volume, too. Heavy metal? Nah, sometimes heavy metal, but it all depends. Depends on what mood I'm in. Sometimes Christian music, sometimes country music, sometimes hard rock, sometimes 90s rock. All depends. 10:30 oil inventory coming out. 20 minutes. I've officially locked down the Tier 3 Patreoners channel, well, with the exception of a few people I have a pre-arrangement with to get in on the first. Other than that, it is locked down, so I will let you all know if that ever opens back up or if people drop out of the top 3. But right now, I've got a lot of time resources dedicated to them. $436 people watching. Welcome, welcome. Look at that. Big top wick on the Q's smoked down. XLV, a little green. XLF, man, look at that. Still beast mode. Coming right up through S1. Awesome. Can I start a waitlist for Patreon 3? Yeah, I probably could. It's not a bad idea, Thick Mass. It's not a bad idea. You're very welcome, C-Mill. Yeah, what I teach here, I can apply to anybody. As long as you're willing to disregard technical analysis and all the crap you learn around the Twitter sphere and the YouTube sphere and all this stuff, and it's especially Reddit. Holy crap! Right click, delete that nonsense. Anything you can learn here, anyone can learn this stuff here because it's simple and it's based on volume. It's based on market awareness. That's all I'm making my trades on based on the volume I see, the levels I set that are based on volume. All these levels are based on volume. Well, except the all-time highs. I have to do some calculations for that. But in and of itself, it is based on volume because I'm using block orders, level 2 data. I'm using open interest, all this stuff to form these all-time highs levels. So in a way, it is. It is. And coming on down to S1 now. But anybody can learn this stuff. If I can learn it, y'all sure as heck can learn it. I didn't even know that was a thing, Nanya. Hovering right around S1. Quick question about your power E trade is this what your options chain looks like? Let's click on that. Delta, implied volatility, open interest. Yep, a little bit of rearrange, but yeah, that's pretty much everything I have. Make sure you have the Greeks on there, which you do. Theta, gamma is good. Delta, open interest, implied volatility. Yeah, all that's good stuff. All right, finally blasting through S1. So we've got this R1 up here. It came within a few cents of it. We've got a lot of this consolidation here around S1 there, a little bouncing up there and coming on down past VWAP now. And let's see how we react as we approach S2. Qs right now are kind of forming a base over their session lows. It got almost down to their session lows now. What I would want to see is a breakdown below pre-market lows. That would be a bit of a sell-off here. That'd be $1.50 sell-off. And SPY is coming on down as well. Yep, I only took one call, Joe. Well, just one call. Looking for another setup here. A lot of shaking and baking up and down. What I want to do here is, especially since we're on the precipice of a decision. Like right now, I think with the next few days we're gonna see some downside, and I'm waiting for that. Like I'm really trying to play smart and play the breakouts or breakdowns. I'm not necessarily looking to jump into position in anticipation of a move. I want the move to start, then get in the position. And that's what I'm waiting on. Yes, I do, Rhomboid. I announced them in the OM plays, and if I'm on live stream, I'll vocalize it on the live stream, and then I'll put it in the OM plays in the calling channel as fast as I can. But if usually I'm voicing it live here on the voice stream. There's that red flush. QQQ now. It's not showing that on XL on the Qs, but XLK's got some red. XLV, look at that on XLV. Man, look at that flush. This is what I'm talking about, man. Little by little, you're going to have a bunch of holes in the balloon. And it's going to start leaking everywhere. And here we go. All the way down. Look at that. Beautiful action through S1. Coming down to S2. QQQ now. Still not flushing. If the Q's flush, it's going to get fun. It's going to get fun. I'm waiting for my puts up ready to go. It's going to be fun. Look at that. Bounce off S2. Let's see how it falls. XLK is coming down. XLV is just blasting through the floor. XLF. What is that? Johnson & Johnson? I got to see what's in XLV. XLY there. I heard one of those big healthcare reported less than spectacular earnings, if I read that right. So it'd be interesting seeing how that gets into XLV. Bounce off S2. Look at that. Booyah. I'm looking at October 29th. Nice. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. Yeah, so stop losses. Interesting. It's an interesting concept, conversation. Yeah, there you go. J&J. That's what I thought I heard. Stop losses for options trading, you've got to be precise because as we all know as options traders, you can go down 10% pretty quickly. I used to set my stop losses at a 10%, but I kept getting stopped. All while the position would reverse and go back in green. So eventually stretch them out to 15%, sometimes even 20, but 15%. Every time I walk away from the computer, if I'm in a position, I'll set an OCO for a 15% loss. Usually it works out pretty good. However, if I take a position, especially with the DTEs that I play, and it goes greater than 15% loss, most of the time it's not coming back. It's not going to come back. Or if it is, it'll just get barely, it'll do that thing where the price action will come up, it'll barely break even and then go back down. Barely break even, come back down. It'll kind of tease you. It's not worth the stress. So if the position goes greater than a 15% loss, most of the time it's time to pull the chalks out, pull the ripcord, punt it, and get out of the position. All right, look at that candle right off of S2. Whispering it down bound. Dirty Dusty, nice. Dude, you're killing it, man. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Is it feeling like a range day to me? I think it's a range morning, but I do think eventually we are popping the bottom of this range. Rick 3K 29. I know what you meant. Yeah, 29. If not today, tomorrow. Today could be a range day, but I think tomorrow is when. See ya. I would just ask, since most of my plays are scalps, why don't I do zero DTEs? Well, y'all know that. Zero DTEs are way too volatile for me. And me, I'm all about hedging risk, high probability plays, reducing risk. And you have to be humble enough to tell yourself you can lose. There are times I'm going to be wrong, and I do not want to take a zero DTE. And then when you're wrong, you're very wrong. Whereas the DTEs I played 2 to 3 days, 3, 4 days, 5 days, when you're wrong, you're not so wrong. Like you're wrong a little bit enough, so where you can just get out of the position. For example, if you buy a put here on a zero DTE, you're down like 40, 50% right now. Whereas a 2 to 3 day DTE, you're only down 15%, if not less. So you can get out of that position before it absolutely smokes you. So when people talk about zero DTEs, they only talk about how amazing it is that you can make 30, 40, 50, 60% in seconds. They don't calculate for risk. I account for risk on every aspect of my life, personal finances, all the decisions I make in my life, in the stock market, with my money, with my job, everything. Calculate risk. If you're not introducing risk into your strategy, then you will not be successful in the long run. Yeah. Now, if we're talking about plays like that, like premium plays like that, that's a different conversation. But I'm talking about just going long calls, long puts. I choose anywhere between 2 to 3 days, sometimes 4 to 5 day DTEs. All depends on the nature of the market, conditions, how volatile things are, how risky things are. If I want to take risk off the table, I'll go a longer DTE. If I want to put risk on, like this morning, I'll bring it back down to 3 days, 2 days. Trust me, I mean, I feel you. I did a zero DTE 2 mornings ago on the futures, and I made like 34% in minutes. Like I get it. I understand the allure to that, but it's too volatile. It's not sustainable. Alrighty. So the QQQ now is popping up. XLV still crashing through the floor. XLF is coming down. Man, look at that. XLP, consumer staples, coming down. A lot of weight. Energy, real estate. No, that was real estate. Real estate is smashing through the floor. Utilities coming down. There's a lot of sell off here in the X's. That's one, two, three. Four of the X sectors are now selling off, not just down, but selling off, and going to cause some downturn in the market. If tech decides it wants to come down, boom. I hope we get more Sunday night futures. I like it. Is there an open interest which you consider to be too small? Yes and no. There's not a set amount. It's just kind of by feel. When I'm looking through the options chain, if I'm looking at something that's only got a few hundred open interest and like the volume is very low, maybe like 50, 60 on SPX, maybe even 100 on SPX, it's not my thing. I'm looking for the something with a high open interest and with a high tradable volume on it. Hey, thanks, Night Frog. Appreciate that. Once again, coming out with the super chats. Heart palpitation. Yeah, absolutely. Zero DDs is heart palpitation. Thoughts on a swing put? I don't think it's a terrible play. As long as you acknowledge that it is a risky play and you account for that. Super chats are a way to donate on the YouTube chat. Um, it's like a tip jar, that type of thing. Yeah, so thought a swing put is risky right now. If you do elect to take a swing put, I would push out the DTEs and I would use position sizing accordingly. It's not. I don't hate it. I don't think it's a terrible play. I don't. Google's up 3%. Nice. Facebook, trying to bounce here. Look at Microsoft. Microsoft is beast mode today. Tesla up 3%. Apple trying to come back up here. All right, there's red coming on down again, rejecting S1 and coming on down to S2. Do you feel that the first V of the day is a place to hang out, or do you watch SPY all day because opportunities equal distributed? No, I do think the first hour of the day presents most of the opportunities. I hang out here most of the day because I'm in an educational position where I want to teach people, and because I do think this week we could be, you know, smoke show coming down. If you can't get filled on a limit order, when do you adjust? If I'm itching to get out of a position, I'll pop down 2 or 3 clicks and get out of that position. It's all situational dependent. All right, watch for S2. I want to play the break off S2. Do we get a bounce? Do we get a sell off? We've already bounced off S2 once. I want to see it do it again. Or fail. All right, there's a blast. XLK. Red candle. XL. Look at that. XLV still selling off. What's the rest doing? XLB. Look at that. And now XLB is joining the sell off. XLRE is selling off. XLP is selling. This is what I'm talking about. Market. Look at XLI is now selling off. This is what I'm telling about. This is what I'm talking about. XLF is now selling off. Oh, this is coming down. I'm about to jump to some puts. This is coming down. XLK is the only thing. It's the thread, the sewing thread that is holding this baby up. And we're about to get a flush. Hold on here. Hold on. I'm starting to get a little excited. Daddy's starting to get excited. Hold on. 45.50. That sounded weird. 10 right here. Buy. Put that in here. Let me see if I can jump into a position. The whole market is rolling over. The whole market is rolling over. All we need is tech to join the fun, and down we go. I'm going to pre-type a play in the event that we do flush. Green candles on the Qs, watching closely. I'm riding each of these waves up in a 15% overall count just from today's trades. Nice. Awesome stuff. Amazing. Q's now green. SPY now climbing on up. We're right at S2 here, so I've got my finger on the trigger. All I got to do is hit send. I'm in the position. I've got 3 clicks above the bid right now, so I can get in the event of a flush. I'm not looking to snipe this bid because when it does move, it gonna move. It gonna move. So XLK is down. Look at XLF is still falling. XLY is starting. It's about to join the fun here. Little green there on XLYP. Little green here. Little green. Little green. XLK starting to flush. I got 980 on the bids here. Selling volumes upticking. XLK. Just watching. Just watching. We got some bottom wicks here. I'm not going to respond to questions just for a second. I want to make sure I get a position 950 right now. Watch here. Green candle there. Just flip green. Look at that. XLRE still falling. Green candle on XLK. XLF has got a green on increasing buying volume there. S and R are not previous day. Nope, they're today. I form all new every morning. Nice, veteran. Yeah, I'm about to jump into some puts if we fall down, but it looks like we're going to have a little reprieve here from the selling. XLV is still down here. I've got, let me make sure I've got this correctly. Watchlist is posted accurately. I'm looking at the SPX puts right now that I've got posted. So yeah, I'm looking at all these X's, man. There's a lot of selling here. I mean, they've got a little bit of green here at the bottoms, but everything is kind of rounding over. XLP and XLC now is still level, but I started to join the fun. XLY started wanting to come down here. XLF sold off here. The bonds, big uptick here. So the bonds are kind of doing this oscillation up and down, crazy waves. Look at XLV though. Out of all of them, healthcare is getting smoked. Healthcare is getting smoked. XLK continues to be the thorn in the side here, but some top wicks. You've got this little consolidation area on tech. If we can get a failure in tech, which right now tech is pretty decent. Microsoft is blasting 4% out the top. Tesla is 4%. And look at that. Just before I flipped off, big green. NVIDIA is now pretty much neutral. Oscillations here, but neutral. Google's 3.5%, both on their Class A or Class Charlies and Alphas. Facebook now, look at this. Facebook has continued to be a thorn on my side. Amazon, sideways. Microsoft, and then Apple, of course. And a lot of volatility in Apple. Look at that. Nuts. And that's what I'm talking about right there. When I tell you I don't want to buy the put waiting for this to go down. I want to buy the breakdowns. That's why when I'm looking at my order form, I click in 3 clicks above the bid. I'm just clicking in a little bit of give there. I'm not being greedy. I'm not looking forward to catch the very precise bottom of that put. I want to be precise, but I also don't want to be greedy. So I put in 3 clicks above the bid. So if this does flush to the downside, there's plenty of room to make money. Plenty of room to make money. So just wait. And I've got the order form pre-typed up in the plays room in the event. Big wick there on SPY. XLF red, XLV, XLK. Ooh, look at XLK. Still hasn't formed on on the Qs. Just waiting. XLK has got this double red here. The Qs are still green. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I'm watching this closely. Right at S2. I've got 930 on the bid here. Man, it's wicking right on S2. Right on it. Look at that big bounce right off of it. Q's double green there. XLK is there. XLV finally starting to round up here. XLF is kind of trading sideways. And there's a little indecision right down here on us too. It's kind of like just bouncing right off of it, man. At some point, I was like, whew, my trigger finger was sweating. In my Discord, David posts support and resistance lines in your mark on your charts. His are different than yours. I mean, I form my lines and I post them in the pre-market analysis. If he wants to deviate, I mean, he's welcome to. He can follow me or not, but yeah, I'm not aware. I didn't see any other postings about supports and resistance lines. All right, coming off of S2. QQQ is still climbing. VIX right now, falling over to 1603. The bonds are up as well. And here we go. Let's see what happens. They're in the Discord for the Patreoners, so I post them in the pre-market analysis, which is reserved for the Patreoners. SPY, Bob, go. SPY. Look at the bonds. They're starting to reach highs. Let's watch what happens with the bonds here. Yeah, I've seen him around Twitter. I don't know him. I've never met him or talked to him, but I've seen him around Twitter. Seems like I know what he's doing. He's got like 350,000 followers. All right, so we're not really bouncing off of S2 too hard here. The Qs have some little upward mobility. XLC climbing up the bottom, from the bottom. 500 people watching. Welcome, welcome. All right, look at that, big green on XLK. Watching around here, TLT, the bonds here. All right, bonds are about to pop up through the top, and XLF may have a little flush here. Look at that, rates are coming down 1.56 after topping out almost a 1.7 a couple of days ago. Yep, I do care, but that's not really something that's going to move too much. So TNX. So when I'm talking about the yields here, I'm talking about the TNX here, coming off of 1.6 this morning all the way down to 1.564. Just something to be aware of. Just another variable that you want to track. Qs now are still coming up. Let's see how it reacts up to the top of the session ranges. XLF, there's that downside as the bonds are forming new highs. SPY is now there. A lot of top wicks on the Qs here. I'm just watching here, just watching at this point. No, I do not adjust them throughout the day. I form them in the pre-market, post them, and I don't touch them. I don't touch them. I let them. I play off of them. I think if you start adjusting, you start creeping bias into your plays, and I don't want to do that. I want to set them and then learn from. I will adjust them the next day. If they don't work, I'll adjust them the next day, based on volume, based on the action. But I do not adjust them during the day. There's a little top wick there. Man, there's some wicks here. This is looking juicy. Juicy for a setup. XLF finally rounding over. XLV has got some red. Look at that big flush on the Ks. Coming down to S2 again. Watch S2 here. We may get that SPY guy. We'll see. If it doesn't break S2, I'm mad at you. I understand. I understand. Yep, this is a strong candle right here. VIX is popping up here right at 455.87. Man, we bounced almost right on top of it. Look at that. Look at the bonds. A lot of consolidation here. Look at these wicks. I'm not going to start whispering until I enter a position. I'm tempted to go ahead and start building into a put in anticipation of this going down. I know that's a little different from what I normally do. Bam, my spidey senses are going off, man. My spidey senses are saying this thing's going to flush. Look at these top wicks on the tech, man. Let's look at the XL. Tesla is up here. NVIDIA. So all this stuff is starting to just get a little red up here, except for Microsoft. When they release like Windows 87, you could download a cure. There's some red. Oh, man. A lot of wicks right here, right at S2. I do think we're going to drop below. I do think. Now it's just a feeling. Look at that. Look at that. So I do think it is just a feeling, but I'm starting to see an overall breakdown. I don't see a lot of strength here other than a few of the tech players. This thing is wicking like crazy right up here. A lot of indecision. And come on down. Yeah, little Bob Barker. Now you're going to get it, Bobby. VIX is 1615. My inputs, and I am not inputs. I've got them loaded. I've got $9.30 on the bid for these things. I've got them ready to go. All I'm doing is clicking in 2 and 3 cents above where it's at the bid. So if I do want to enter, if I see the flush coming, I will jump in. But right now, I want S2 to break before I get in there. No positions. No positions. I will post it. I've got the OM plays pre-typed without the fill. I've got the entry of the details. All I got to do is hit enter, and then I'll come back in and post the fill. Just because I want to get that notification out quick if that does. It needs to snap the rubber band. That's a great analogy, one that we use all the time. XLK, XLV finally has a green. XLF starting to round slightly. It's holding S2. There it is. Little break. Little break. All right, the rubber band is stretching. Never playing 0DTE again. These puts are sweating me right now. Yeah, I feel you. By the way, that was a Happy Gilmore reference, not a Waterboy reference, but I appreciate the knowing about Adam Sandler. It's good stuff. Look at that green right here. Oh, man, it's going to tease me all the way down. Come on now. Nope, green across all the X's. I don't think it's going just yet. Just yet. Woo. Man, it's got my blood flowing. I'm ready to get in here. There's that green candle right up through S2 again. Still holding like concrete, man. Just cannot break that level. And up we go. And up we go. TLT is still on the march, still climbing, and I am just about ready to get into a position here. I just need some breakdown action. Big green on SPY. Nope, if I enter a position, I will post it and I will announce it here. I promise y'all. One or the other. I'll either announce it here on the voice or I'll put it in the OM Plays channel. I'm waiting for confirmation. I'm waiting for confirmation below S2. Look at all these top wicks. Another top wick. Since April, Dallas, my position size average about 4.5%. So every trade is about 4.5 to 5% of my portfolio. I think after my largest loss, it's finally clicked. Patience for high quality plays. That's right. Every one of those green candles could have been a 15% stop out. It's all about patience. I'm telling you, it is tempting to get into this call right to get into this put. It's tempting, especially when I have a gut feeling this thing is going to flush to like crazy. But I want to be smart. I want to be smart. Take the high probability trade. Input. Input. Remember, anyone know that? You want to be Johnny Five. There you go. Ever seen that movie Short Circuit? Be Johnny Five. What Discord room do I post in? I post in the OM Plays. It's underneath the Patreon exclusive section. Man, look at these top wicks. God, love it. All right, red on XLV, red on XLF. Watching the Nasdaq. Oh, Nasdaq's red. XLK is just flipped red, and bouncing off again. 456.12. I'm going to start looking for a put entry up here if it comes up here again. One of the best movies of the 80s. I don't know if y'all have seen Short Circuit, but one of the best movies of the 80s. Highly recommend it. Look at these wicks. All right, XLV, double green candle, no wick on top yet. Tech. Microsoft right now is the second biggest holding of SPY, and it is up almost 5% as it is just blasting through the top. I'm sure Justin's happy about that. His stock holdings are doing amazingly well. Amazon is about to bounce, looks like. Facebook's riding over. Google now. Nvidia climbing. Tesla. Look at these top wicks on Tesla. Within days, for sure, Octo Daddy. Definitely. I just need it to happen right now. All right, there's another red candle. What are we going to do? Increase. That's the biggest volume we've had since 0927 Central. Q's have got a little top wick here. Look at that. Flip to the red on XLK, XLV. Look at that flush on XLF. Positioning myself appropriately here, setting the bids. Look at that big selling action. OM, can you just move the S2 down a little bit? All right, I want to take a put here really bad. Really bad. This thing is just bouncing off all over the place on S2. A lot of wicks here. I think I need to get a. I think you need to go get a protein shake. I actually do need a protein shake. But man, I know the second I leave, I'm going to come back to 427. So I don't want to. I don't want to leave yet. Ooh, look at that green candle. Look at that Q's. All right, what happened? Tesla popped through. Nvidia, Google. So pretty much all the tech just said hey and went bye bye. Microsoft still out. Look at Apple, and we bounced right off S2. Man, that is a lesson in patience if I ever had it. 5 years ago, I would have been beating my head against the wall for oversizing myself into some puts. I mean, 5 years ago, literally. Look at that. Look at that. Bounce right off. Q's launched. XLF still down. XLV still climbing. So, one question to ask ourselves: how high does tech go? When does the rug pull happen? Or at least, maybe not a rug pull, but you kind of trip a little bit and fall. Like, when does that actually happen? Because right now, we've got tech is up 4 point. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous returns on tech. Almost 5% on Microsoft, 4% on Google, almost 5 on Tesla. And it is what's propping everything up right now. Right now, SPY is currently right smack dab in the middle of the session range, which is 457.16 to 455.33. We're looking at $1.80 range. I mean, probably, Ben, yeah. I just paid some tuition for Patience 101. It's only tuition if you learn from it, so make sure you learn from it. Otherwise, you're just lighting money on fire. Oh, man. Punched in the face. That's a Mike Tyson candle right there. Calls are looking good. Calls are looking good. Bam. Right in the face. Coming down to S2, 445.82. Talk about some shaking and baking. Oh, man, pop through. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look at XLI. Look at XLY. I mean, all red candles except for you. Wow. Wow. Talk about a punch in the face. Wow. Careful up here. Look at the VIX. XLV dropped through. XLF is starting to come down. Watch for the break lower on XLF. That'll be interesting. TLT is now up top, and the VIX just absolutely blasted into the stratosphere, jumped on a SpaceX and went. This is a sit on the hands and watch kind of day. Right now, here's the thing, man. Like, I promise you, when the break happens, there will be plenty of money to be made. There'll be plenty of money to be made once the break happens. Am I in puts? No, I'm not. I'm in no positions right now. Nice, lady. Beautiful, beautiful play. 124 to 147. Awesome. 5% on that Mike Tyson candle. First win since Thursday. Nice, Gordon. All right, so bottom of the session range and the session low, 445.34. We're about 50 cents above, 40 cents above. Obviously, that was a smoke show, and that market just rope-a-doped you. Please play with caution. I think if I think the market speaks for itself here. Please play with caution until we get here. You know, when the break happens, the euphoria will kick in, and it'll drill. It'll drill, but you gotta wait for that to drill. Like, this is not it yet. We're only down a little bit off of the session high, $1.50. So When it goes down, there's plenty of money to be made. Please exercise caution. And that's why they call it a circuit breaker. Once a certain level's hit and the buyers kind of like step out and say, see ya, like these kind of candles that form really quick, we're just blasting through the buy orders. And once those sellers overcome, it's a math equation, algebra. When does the big alligator, the greater than sign, eat the sellers instead of the buyers? Because look at this, look at this, look at this, jumping all over the place. I'm like on that the show, The Shark Tank, and for that reason, I'm out. You're very welcome, CJ. QQQ now is popping up here. The VIX, little sell off there. All eyes on tech until things break down. All green across the board. Facebook coming down again. Microsoft, probably just a large sell order went through, tanked. It's kind of a little tanked the market. I need to go through and check the flow. Sorry, that was me selling Microsoft. I love it, Justin. I love to see it. Right off 445.65. A lot to learn today about being patient. Absolutely, absolutely. I read a good quote today, actually, from one of the people I follow. It says, transition your mind into thinking that you are an observer instead of a trader, and you will start to become more profitable. Because when you have the mindset that you are a trader, you feel like that you always need to take a trade. Just like if you are a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So focus yourself and change your thinking to be an observer. Observe the market, observe the volume, observe your surroundings, and position yourself accordingly. The more strategic you are, the more intentional you are with your observations, the more profitable you be. For me, I see a lot of wicks. We're right at S2. There's a lot of shaking and baking. There's a lot of guesswork, and I want to remove guesswork. Little wick there on XLK, XLV starting to round over. XLF is popping slightly. XLP, another one that's selling at the bottom. That's right, Chief. And I said in my pre-market brief verbatim, today, if anything, should provide some volatility. Nice, CE. You're learning. Hey, $1 profit is better than losing, Corporal Marines. It is unreasonable. It is. Well, I see. Your name makes this weird, but yeah, that's a very reasonable thing to say. Unreasonable. It is a profound perspective. Small greens on the Qs. Small green on XLK as it's kind of trending down. XLV is there. XLF is starting to bounce. What are the bonds doing? Still, ooh, little sell off in the bonds there. All right. If y'all are new to the community and want to be a part of a great educational channel, I'm going to post a link to the community there. Come over and join. You can pick any tier you want, get all the benefits you want. We have tomorrow is Thursday, so the new episode of the Making Millionaires podcast is posted tomorrow. We get so part of the tier one package, you get the podcast, you get the play calling, you get the commentary, you get my pre-market analysis and support and resistance levels. So come over and join, have some fun with us, learn with us, learn how to be patient. So right off S2, still waiting. Already have one profit in the books yesterday. We waited pretty much all morning and then slung two positions into the late morning afternoon. Well, Chief, that's what I'm trying to figure out here because we do have a lot of top wicks. And it's like the only thing propping this up to me is tech. And how far is tech going to run? I mean, Tesla's already up to almost to 1,100, 5% after being up with like 13% a couple of days ago. Google's up 4%. Microsoft is up 4.5%. So it's like, at what point do we start to get some profit taking? And at what point is that going to smash SPY down to S3 or S4 or even bigger? And I do have S6 actually calculated and ready to go. I just don't include it yet. I'll post it if we need it. I just don't see us needing S6. I'll probably save that for tomorrow. And every time you ask every time you want to figure out, is this going to fall? Is this going to pop? How far is it going to come on down? Ask yourself the question, what would cause it to drop? Why? Think about like a market existential question. Why would this drop? Why would it go red? Why would it go to 490? Why would it go to 410? Right now, consumer earnings, or corporate earnings, I'm sorry. Corporate earnings, tech, leading the way. It's carrying the flag, it's in the front of the pack, it's leading the way. But what happens when that dude falls over? When that actually goes down? Well, then I'd anticipate some selling. I anticipate some profit taking. A little sell the news type event here after buyer exhaustion comes into play. Sellers take over, refresh the market. It's just normal behavior. You're not a bear or a bull. You are an economist or economist. Or economist. There you go. So yeah, you're playing smart. No, I don't think. I don't think the tax issue. They're saying it only applies to billionaires. So we'll see. And honestly, the billionaires, they have plot processes in place. They're not going to pay their taxes. It's just not, and they're going to do it legally, and they're going to use every loophole they can find to do so. So it's really a non-issue. It's not going to affect the market. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate that. Thanks for the support. Join the community. Let me know if you got any questions. DM me anytime. So we're squeezing right in between S2 and S1. Yeah, that'd be awesome, Devin. Not a problem I need to worry about. Maybe one day in the future. So Qs are up there. See if we reject the top of their range. XLF, red candle, XLK. Hmm. Nvidia, man, they just blasted the top and still climbing. Nice, Wolfenstein. Looks like you had a big turnaround there. A couple of losses in a row and then switched it to green. Yeah, apparently there's some TOS issues right now. If you have TOS. That's right, Julia. You always got to make the best. Our job is not to be a bull or a bear, it's to play whatever comes in front of us. So puts, calls, downside, upside, I don't care. I'll take it both. If this thing decides to rocket to 500, cool. I'll play calls. If we want to come down to 400, cool. I'll play puts. Savvy investor. All right, man, another little wick right here. All right, so there's no issue. Okay, I thought I saw some people throughout the morning talking about TO issues, but I guess it's good to go. Little bottom wicks here. XLK is climbing, XLV. So maybe we'll get a little bounce here, at least temporary. Yeah, Tesla's going nuts there. Everything, Nvidia popped up there. Now Apple's trying to go. Yeah, I saw that. I saw Boeing said that they were going to start at least not sending out their 737s. They're down to 207, which to me is a buying opportunity. This is for my long-term trading account. After topping out up here, I think we actually got a little higher than that too. It went up to 279, 280, which is fantastic. And then now we're at 207, which for me is a buying opportunity. I'm all over Boeing. You just added more Boeing. Nice. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do the same. I just did my skim here in October, where I skim my profits every quarter. So I'm going to start buying up some stocks. So I think Boeing is one of those things I'm going to add. All right, little red on Qs. And now we're just waiting for a position. What do you think of a BA call for December expiration? Uh, they have to sort all this stuff first because there could be more downside here. But I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking 3, 4 years. Where's Boeing going to be? I think it's a prime time entry for a long position here on buying some Boeing. We are rejecting S1. Little red candle on the Qs. Red candle on XLK and XLV or XLF. A little bit of green on the other ones though. Yep, it's playing pinball right between S1 and S2. Man, another rejection of S1. Ooh. Hello, NVIDIA. Microsoft maybe we're on the verge of a little bit of a profit taking here. I'd like to see it. Rejection of S1. NVIDIA has a massive red candle. It just smoked out $3 right off the bat. Google's still high. Tesla's coming down. Interesting. So we're smack dab in the middle of the OM session range. We're right in between S1 and S2. We're bouncing off S1 right here beautifully. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. Just waiting. Not much going on here. So having said that, 10:17 Central, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Call that a morning. It's been a fantastic morning. A lesson in profit in patience. We did take one call today. What, about a 15% win, give or take? I'll calculate it and throw it in there. So it's been a fantastic day. A good lesson to learn when to play, when not to play, when to jump in, and when to calculate the entries. I do anticipate a move will be made here in the next hour, hour and 15, hour and 20, somewhere around there. I'll be watching closely. I'll be lobster eyeing the charts as always, and I'll be in the Discord talking with y'all. If you have any questions, please shoot me a DM anytime. I'll be happy to answer to it as fast as possible, or you can add Options Millionaire in the room. If you are new to the YouTube, like that channel, subscribe, come over and join the Discord so you can start learning with us, learning how to be patient, learning how to turn the risk on, turn the risk off, and make some money. Links are in the description for the Patreon as well as the Discord. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it. If I don't see you this afternoon, I will see you bright and early tomorrow in the Patreon voice stream exclusive for a Thursday morning trade, trying to make a little money and carry the Momo into the end of the week. Anyway, thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it. I am out of here.
5-star copies all. Go ahead. Message to observer. Alpha 3 rounds. AT delay in effect. 3 guns. Bravo 2 rounds. 2 guns. Smoke on effect.